You're not making as much money as you should be from Google Ads because of incorrect conversion tracking. You have ghost leads. Your Google Ads conversion column tells you one thing, but the actual inbox tells you another. I see this every day when I audit Google Ads accounts. I've handled over $130 million in ad spend, and I've generated over $1 billion in revenue for businesses. And I see this every day. So I'm going to jump in and show you exactly how to fix it. You don't need any technical knowledge in order to follow this. And by the end of it, you'll be tracking forms inside of your Google Ads account properly. This is the entry-level way of tracking forms. There are more detailed ways I'm going to cover, but to get you off the ground, this is the first step. So this is a landing page on my website, adtrain/Google Ads conversion, Google Ads management. We hit contact us. I filled in the form already. And this is going to divert to this nice cringy guy here, but it's going to have a thank you page URL. And this is what we really need. Now, if you're in lead generation, 99% of businesses will have a thank you page URL, just as best practice. So you should fall into that category. If you don't, you need to have a thank you page put into place in order to use this tracking setup and structure. I've copied that now, so I've copied it there. So I'm going to close it. And now we're in Google Analytics. And Google Analytics just helps you track everything that happens on a website. And the beautiful thing is that when it comes down to what we're going to do by heading over to admin here at the bottom left, we head over to admin. Let me close these down. Is that it tracks from all different types of traffic. So you'll be able to see form submissions coming from Microsoft Organic Search, for example. And you might not have that already if you haven't had somebody set up conversion tracking. So you'll be able to see what channels perform better. I'm going to go deeper and deeper into conversion tracking because it is important. But we head over to admin in GA4 and we look at this list. Now, your list might look a bit fuzzy like that because you've got all of them open. Don't worry, it's fine. Where we're going to live is we're going to live inside of events. But very quickly, before we have to create an event that we then import to Google Ads. That's how it works. We use GA4 to create the event. GA4 is installed on the website, so therefore it can track the traffic. And then those goals are imported to Google Ads. It's as simple as that. But there is one little caveat. Here, on the bottom tab on the admin page, is product links. And you can link to a lot of different things, but Google Ads links is what is critical. Now, you can see here, AdTrain Limited, which is obviously my company, 918-507-0280. 918-507-0280. I've linked it to the correct Google Ads account. So I know that these events are going to be pulled through. I know that I'm going to have no issue later down the road. Things that I know that you don't right now, you're going to see it. But it's set up correctly and linked. And that is critical because any event we create inside of GA4, if the account isn't linked, is not going to be importable. So we head over to events and under data display events, we click create an event. The event name, we're going to call it Nemo form tracking Nemo. My little girl Rosie gave me this little Nemo and said that I'm going to hit 100,000 subs across my 2 channels. So yeah, that's the name. So when we look under here, Marcus Key Event, I'm going to tick this Marcus Key Event. It's necessary. If you don't do that, you can't import it into Google Ads. You have to tick that box. And what that box does is it gives us a couple of options. I'm not going to delve on them too much, but you can set a value for an individual conversion action. We don't want that because we don't know what a form's worth. It's mostly generation businesses, like let's say a roofer, could be to patch up a small little area of a roof, or it could be an entire solar roof that you make 500K on. So we can't set a value on this. This is why things like CRM tracking come into place later. Counting method, once per event or once per session. We just want once per event. So we want an event every time that a user interacts and submits a form, the event fires, that's fine. And down here, we can create with code or create without it. And we don't want to create with it because it'll just complicate things. And this is where what we've just done comes into place. Don't get confused by this form submit or page view. Simply have the event name as page view, and it matches when the URL contains. And if we put in the URL that I just took, the thank you page here, then this is going to track every time this fires. And you can only get to this page after somebody submits a form. That's why it's a thank you page. So that's why it works. But you don't actually need the full URL. You literally can just have thank you because its URL contains. So we delete that. We leave whatever your thank you page URL is. It might have hyphens. It might be different. But that's exactly what mine is. So that's what I need to do. So from a potential of next steps and what we have to do, we don't have to worry about any of this stuff. Do not get involved in it. Just literally hit create top right. Now we have a conversion event. There's one with a similar name, but the conversion event called Form Tracking Nemo. Now, if we go into Google, so now that's set up properly. We're tracking that event. There's no stream data detected for it yet because it hasn't fired. But when it does fire, it will have stream data. One of the ways we can help it fire is by connecting it in Google Ads. And all I want you to do is go to Goals, Summary, over here. And then I want you to create a conversion action. You might have to scroll a little bit to find that, and it'll bring you to this page. Choose a data source to measure conversion actions. You're doing this because you want to track more Google Ads leads and ensure that your data is set up properly. Or just ensure it's still firing, it's still working from last time you set it up. But these different boxes are for different things: form tracking, conversion from phone calls, offline conversion tracking via Zapier, etc. But we just want conversions on website. The rest of it is irrelevant to us. If you do not see this box, it's because you haven't connected the two things together before in terms of creating, not in terms of the linking. Because something that that obviously I have to show you is the Google Ads link in here. But not only do I have to show you that, I have to show you conversions on a website. Because in here, if it's your first time using it, it's going to ask you for your website URL, just like this. All you've got to do is put it in, hit the scan button, and it will find your GA4 as long as you have it on site. So we have conversions on a website. We literally save and continue. Now we have to select, all this page is, it looks crazy, but we don't want to do this because we can group conversions together. But we just want to submit a lead form because that's what it is. If it was anything else, if it was a newsletter sign up, you could use sign up. But when it comes down to this, it's a form submission. So I'm going to select the form submission. In here, there's only one option, create a conversion. And this is where we would have fell foul if we hadn't scanned the website earlier. Once this is done, you can see right here that the conversion event Form Tracking Nemo is sat right at the top, ready for us to select. The status is inactive. Don't worry about that. It's because it's not been fired. We select it. We select the event. Now, to go a tiny little bit deeper, you can go into settings and edit some settings. You can change the name, which is like a primary setting. So like YouTube video form submission goal. Just to give it clarity for you, if you're setting up multiple ones, if you have multiple thank you pages, you'll want to use that. Primary and secondary options are key to understand. Primary means it shows in your conversion column. You should keep it as primary. If it's a form submission, you should keep it at primary. And the rest of it, I mean, here we don't want to use a value for a form, which is like because for the same reason we didn't before. But outside of that, there isn't much else. Only one conversion, so that if someone submits multiple forms, you don't get flagged for every conversion and it inflates your numbers. But other than that, we tick done and we're ready to rock and roll. We save. Finish. Now inside of goals, if we scroll down, we find the type that we selected, which was submit lead form. And inside of here, we see YouTube video form submission goal, primary, website, Google Analytics, GA4. There isn't any conversions yet because it hasn't happened. You can literally see here one of the conversion events that I had there set up that tracked 369 leads that came through, and then another one for PPC giants. But when it comes down to conversion tracking, that's your lot. You're done. It took however long it took to do. It doesn't take long. This is the most efficient way for you to be able to track inquiries in terms of speed. It is not the best practice in terms of maximizing visibility. I'll cover that in another video. If you've enjoyed this video, go and check this one out over here. You'll love it. My name's Mike. Hit like, hit subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one.